Ladies and gentlemen, we take the opportunity now to invite Gerry Georgatos to say a few words about wheelchairs for kids.
I'd like to pay my respect to the land that I stand on, Gadigal country, to elders past and present, and forever remember and understand what they've endured and continue to endure. I want to pay homage to all of you, but firstly, much respect to the Honourable Marie Bashir. Her words will stay with me for a long time, particularly what was said about Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, as I've spent a significant portion of my life in Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander affairs, whether in health, and as Mr. Mitri said, my predominant work is in suicide prevention. For myself, there's still a long journey to go. My suicide research as a researcher says that 1 in 20 of our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander brothers and sisters, 1 in 20, will die by suicide. By suicide in this country, from a racialised lens, that's one of the highest in the world. For a country, 12th largest economy, one of the wealthiest nations on the planet, it's a moral abomination. It's a moral abomination to have this humanitarian crisis. Coupled with premature deaths, unnatural deaths, we do have a humanitarian crisis of a catastrophic proportion. And we've got a long way to go in unveiling the ways forward. I travel the homelands, the communities. I've been to hundreds of them across the country. The more west we go across the country, the worse the hits and more racialised on our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander brothers and sisters. As a young person growing up with a Greek background, I lived a sense of what now is no longer there in the ways that it was then, the feeling of the various racism that I felt. But my father taught me a lesson quite young. He said, "My son, what you feel and what we feel and what we carry, and because of the way we carry ourselves and the colour of our skin, the racism that you feel, that you'll find out someday that it's a lot worse for our brothers and sisters who are Aboriginal in this country." And that sent me down the path of doing my PhD in unveiling the ways forward from racism, not to keep people hostage to it, but to unveil the ways forward. So I've spent a good portion of my life, and to listen to what the Honourable Marie Bashir said, I will keep those words with me, and the journey has begun and the journey is still to go. But as I said, it is a moral abomination, and in this country we have a suicide rate of 1 in 20, 1 in 20, and my research says it's actually as high as 1 in 10 because of underreporting issues. But that's also taught me a lesson. That's also taught me the lesson that there is nothing or no greater legacy that we can have than to improve the lot of others to the point of saving lives. No greater legacy than we can have. I sit on federal boards in mental health and suicide prevention, and the language that I give here 24/7 is who you've got to be, not just part of the time. It is the same language that I carry there to our parliamentarians, to our bureaucracies, to our government instruments, that there is no greater legacy than we can have than to improve the lot of others to the point of saving lives. I've worked in many sectors, particularly with the homeless, but none is actually closer in terms of the charities that I work for as a volunteer, pro bono, than Wheelchairs for Kids, because they indeed do depend on others. They indeed, to be relieved from the burdens that they have, and many of these families that we actually help are single-parent families because of wars and civil strife. 31,000 chairs, wheelchairs, rough terrain wheelchairs, is a very small contribution to the millions that are there that have a demand for, but it is unmet, an unmet need. One of the goals and ambitions that I have is to see these rough terrain wheelchair assembly factories and manufacturing in other parts of this world. We are the only one. We are the only one, and it comes from Perth, Western Australia, 150 volunteers. Rotary had a huge hand, Rotary International, I must pay them homage, in underwriting this. Each year we have to pick up enough funding, and we pick it mostly up from ordinary donors to keep us operational. And all the funds go to the buying of the metals, the aluminium, the chassis that we need to manufacture these wheelchairs in accordance with World Health Organization guidelines. Each wheelchair is tested by us. Each wheelchair is tested by us by a testing module developed by engineering students at the University of Western Australia, where I'm also located at. So we test each of these wheelchairs. When we fill a container with either 170 wheelchairs or 350, each of those wheelchairs have been assembled, tested for durability, and because we'll send them to places like the Congo, We'll send them to Senegal. We'll send them to places in Indochina where there is no post-care, post-maintenance, where if a tyre is punctured, we know that it won't be replaced. Where if the chassis breaks down, we know that we can't mend that. So what we do is build them for durability, rough terrain, so they will stay for the longevity of the childhood of that child till, you know, it will be met by the need. It is a relief for the family. It is life-saving. It is an opportunity to many things. It's an opportunity also for access to education. And without education, you're pretty lost wherever you are in this world, be it Australia, be it the Congo. It is with... I have no greater warmth for people than I have for the 150 retiree volunteers of the Wheelchairs for Kids Foundation. They asked me to honour today Her Excellency, the Honourable Marie Bashir, for honouring us herself with her presence, and who I'd also like to pay special mention to, the Honourable Shoaket Mosulmain and Mr. Rick Mitri. They are just good human beings, good and decent human beings who have made many things happen. Over a long period of time. I've now known the Honourable Shoaket Mosulmain for several years, and there isn't anything that, you know, I need, whether I'm working with the homeless, whether it's Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island affairs, whether it's suicide prevention, whether it's wheelchairs for kids, that he will not respond. I send an email, I've got a response in 15 minutes. I've got a response in 15 minutes. To all of you here, much respect for your presence. If in any way we can continue on and improve and increase the engagement that we actually have with wheelchairs for kids, and as to do, as I said earlier in this piece or whatever, right, to improve the lot of others, to the point that we improve the quality of their life, to the point that we save lives. There is no greater legacy that we can have on our days on this earth under the sun than that. Thank you for welcoming here. Thank you for listening to me, and much respect to all of you.